In recent years, our people have faced some of our toughest challenges, and I've been inspired by the courage and resilience of Californians, health workers, teachers, parents, and kids. You came together, and now you're coming back stronger than ever. As your governor, I promise you, whatever challenges come our way, I will always lead the California way.
Gavin Newsom, courage through crisis.
What's up, guys? It's Benny. My, how things can change. This is 1951 Los Angeles. Footage from a car simply driving down the street, showing you an orderly, polite, and clean society where the rules are followed and where a town that was pretty much just created out of the desert a few years earlier is bustling and booming, a proper American boomtown. What the hell happened 70 years later? This is the Los Angeles of today, where flaming ramparts are being used by foreign invaders to commit acts of domestic terrorism. What you see here is that they are now firing mortars at the police officers. There you go. Okay, great. They're launching mortar rounds now, Gavin Newsom. What happened exactly? Well, it really does come down to one simple thing: policy. This was a choice. Decline is always a choice, and California had pretty much everything going for it. California has been gifted in natural resources and in population and in its positioning right there on the Pacific Ocean. California has so much richness to it. It is very much the crown jewel of America, if you're looking at it on just like a state-to-state basis. But it is the leaders of California that have utterly destroyed the place and have done so for their own power. How did it start? Well, they gave amnesty to millions of criminal aliens in the late 80s. That started a doom loop for California, where more criminal aliens came to get amnesty and free welfare. And the cycle continued until California reached its logical conclusion here, which is a failed state. That is what you're seeing in the footage out of Los Angeles: a failed state and a failed government that allowed all of it for power. But what happens when you're ruling over the ashes? Well, I can show you that because Gavin Newsom decided to go on TV last night and talk smack to President Trump. Let me show you how it sounded. This is Gavin Newsom's live address to the nation.
Mullen, if you hang on, let's listen in on Gavin Newsom, then I'll give you a chance to respond first. I don't think we have any volume. All right. I guess we have no. Is that on their end or is it on our end? I'm asking. That's on their end. Apparently a live feed. He's having a little bit of difficulty, Mark Wayne Mullen. If you have time for podcasts and MSDNC and to fight me on X and you on X, I think you're kind of missing the point. Or if you put handcuffs on police.
So there was no audio in Gavin Newsom's much vaunted address to the state. And in case you're wondering if this is just Fox News trolling Gavin Newsom,
okay, we are
here's the local reporting
on the audio. Okay, we are working on the audio. Not sure if that's on the governor's end, but we're working to get that production up and running for you so you can listen in. We certainly will have excerpts of what the governor has said, but we're efforting to get the audio working so we can hear Governor Newsom's speech. We do know that he did file a law.
So this is what happened. They sent a major address to be aired by all the major news stations. The outlets did not get any audio feed. So they simply played Gavin Newsom on national TV without any audio. He runs his live streams as well as he runs his state. See, that's the interesting thing. This wasn't a live stream. What you can see here is that it's not Gavin Newsom live at all. This is a pre-record of Gavin Newsom. Utter calamity. Newsom's address to the nation has no audio. What a perfect reflection of Gavin Newsom. No audio on his urgent address to the public. But it wasn't that urgent. Impressive failure considering we have the world's 5th largest economy. He couldn't even get audio working on the major speech. You see, this was a pre-recorded speech. Gavin Newsom is a coward. He's been lying this entire time. Gavin Newsom pre-recorded the speech, couldn't even deliver it live. Then later in the evening, his team sent out a color-corrected version, but the audio was still effed up. Here, I'll show you the differences between the two versions. This is the one they originally sent was on top. You can see that it has been color-corrected. The one on bottom actually has audio, and they aired that one. So it's not live. They were editing it live, and they sent the wrong version. Isn't that really something else? And the one that they ended up sending also had an audio F-up.
Is about this. California may be first. California may be first, but it clearly will not end here. Other democracy are next. Is democracy. Democracy is under democracy is before our eyes. This is before our
Hard to listen to. Got it.
All right,
This is the value of DEI.
We have
This is the result of
apparently more
DEI in our
problems
society.
and more-
This is a result of wokeness and woke policies. And Gavin Newsom's live stream was a perfect reflection of his governorship of the state of California. No, your computer isn't broken. Gavin Newsom just delivered his remarks with no audio. Gavin Newsom's audio isn't working. They had to shut down the broadcast. Literally nothing in California works. It is pathetic. Newsom's address to California has failed already. First, there was no audio, and now there's nothing. Gavin looked terrible, too. Here we go. The major address to California was pre-recorded video that was initially streamed without audio. After several minutes, a new color-corrected version of the same video with actual audio started. What an absolute and total fail. Jeez, it is truly humiliating. If this isn't a sign of the incompetence and abject failure of California, Governor Newsom gave an address to the state without any sound, resulting in staff having to cut the feed. I think that what they did was they just because it's the exact same video, right? It's an identical video. They pre-recorded this. He's too big of a coward to just do the address live. Awkward moment, 2 minutes of dead silence, and they had to start over. You can't make this up. Newsom is giving a speech right now, and there's no audio. What an incompetent jokes. Maybe the mics were looted. They showed this right before cutting to Newsom, and Newsom's audio crashed. Sean Hannity is desperately trying to play Gavin Newsom's speech, but he can't because Newsom's audio is melting down for the third time tonight. Gavin Newsom might be retarded, but he can't even get the audio right on his little speech. Gavin Newsom just literally ended his career with no audio on the national address he planned to make. Resign now. Yeah, so this is being covered, of course, everywhere. Absolute disaster. The memes are coming through. There we go. Yes, I'm trying. Here's a summary of Gavin Newsom's speech. Iconic moment in comedy history here. The White House is trolling Gavin Newsom with the footage of a burning Los Angeles behind him as he gives a weepy speech. And Stephen Miller quote tweeted us saying, "The entire Democratic Party is committed to a singular position of migrants flooding every city in the United States of America." Gavin Newsom, once the audio was finally working, ended up just blaming Trump for everything.
Thanks to our law enforcement officers and the majority of Angelenos who protested peacefully, the situation was winding down and was concentrated in just a few square blocks downtown. But that's not what Donald Trump wanted. He again chose escalation. He chose more force. He chose theatrics over public safety. He federalized another 2,000 Guard members. He deployed more than 700 active U.S. Marines. These are the men and women trained for foreign combat, not domestic law enforcement.
Okay, enough. Marines signed up to protect their country. That's exactly what they're doing here. This is every Marine's dream, is protecting their homeland, not dying in some godforsaken sand pit 5,000 miles away from where they were born. This is what the armed services is for, actually, protecting our nation, protecting our country. This is why we have a National Guard. This guy wants to be president. It is breathtaking. But even this might not have been the most humiliating thing that happened to Gavin Newsom yesterday. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Gavin Newsom straight up lying and Donald Trump bringing the receipts. You'll love this.
Going on between Gavin Newsom and President Trump. Gavin Newsom, after President Trump said in the noon hour in the Oval Office that he called him yesterday or the other day, Gavin Newsom tweeted the following. He said, quote, "There was no call, not even a voicemail. Americans should be alarmed that a president deploying Marines on our streets doesn't even know who he's talking to." Well, President Trump contacted me from Air Force One on his way to Fort Bragg, North Carolina. where he'll be in just a little while. He said the first call to Gavin Newsom was not picked up. The second call, Gavin picked up. We spoke for 16 minutes. I told him to essentially, quote, and this is quoting the president, get his ass in gear and stop the riots, which were out of control more than anything else. This shows what a liar he is. Said I never called. So here is the evidence. And here is the call log that the president sent me from his phone. This was June the 7th. Now, granted, this was on Saturday. But look, there's 1:22 o'clock in the morning, which would have been 10 o'clock at night, 10:22 at night, California time. There was an outgoing call for 4 seconds. And then there was an outgoing call for 16 minutes. So that from the president, which says is proof that he spoke to Gavin Newsom early in the morning, our time, late at night, Friday night, would have been June 6th, I guess, in Los Angeles. So, Governor, over to you for the response. I was
going to say that's next, right? We're waiting to see what if Governor Newsom has a response to the president's. Essentially, what he has there is the receipt for what he says is the call that was made.
It's all about
in
the
a long
receipts.
Conversation. Yeah, exactly.
All
In a
about the
16-minute
receipts.
conversation. As you mentioned, as things were heating up is the timing of that call, as things were really just beginning to get started. So it'll be interesting to see where this goes.
Dan, as the president